When you think of the word Ubisoft, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Assassin's Creed, Tom Clancy, Hyperscape? Ugh. Alright, yeah, we'll skip that last one. Regardless, Ubisoft have created legendary titles and made fantastic games in the past. So when we saw them put their hat in the ring on an arcade first-person shooter, we all kind of stared at them like we saw a dad in his mid-30s doing TikTok dances at a club. So without further ado, choose your team and type XD like it's the early 2000s as I cover XDefiant. And if you enjoy what you see today, be sure to sub to the channel. Okay, let's continue. Before I even begin saying anything, I know I'm gonna get comments like how I did on my other video saying, "Well, Blackout, you can't critique this, it's free to play and in a beta." First, yes I can. Second, who said I couldn't? And third, this isn't some small little indie studio, okay? This is Ubisoft, a multi-billion-dollar empire at this point. They're putting this game up against other first-person shooters in this space, so it's only fair I critique it at this point. I understand the concept of a beta, right? But for them to improve on what they have now, you need to critique the game in its current state, because if you don't, how the fuck do you expect them to make this game better? XDefiant, formerly known as Tom Clancy's XDefiant, is a first-person shooter developed and published by Ubisoft. It features a variety of factions and classes with their own abilities and weapons. Now, why did the Tom Clancy name get involved in the first place? Well, it's primarily because this game was only going to pit players from the Tom Clancy universe against each other. Well, after that went about as well as driving fast while blindfolded, they promptly rebranded to include the entire Ubisoft universe. Now you can play as the Cleaners from The Division, the Phantoms from Ghost Recon, the Libertad from Far Cry 6, and the Echelon from Splinter Cell. I also love how Ubisoft can give us this instead of a new Splinter Cell game like we've been asking for. Yeah, tell me to let it go all you want, but they can put Sam Fisher in Siege, but then they act like they don't know what we're saying once we ask for a new Splinter Cell title. Alright, got a little off track. So let me start by running down the game, some of what it has to offer, and then provide what I like and dislike about it, okay? Cool, alright, let's go. As I said before, XDefiant is an arcadey first-person shooter that involves different factions in the Ubisoft universe. And depending on the faction you choose, you'll get specific abilities and utilities. For example, De Rosa on the Cleaners has a fire drone or Molotov you can use, along with this special ability which is a flamethrower that has about as much reach as a Natwang and as effective as a spitball. Along with the abilities and utilities, your class also dictates what kind of equipment you get. For the assault, you get a grenade, for SMG, you get a flash, so on and so forth. You can also customize your weapon, which is more preferable because after doing a test run with all the default classes, your best bet is just to run the assault class and deal with the movement kids getting carpal tunnel in their wrist while gunning you down with the Vector. We then move into the maps. There are around 14 and they can range anywhere from a small to medium setting depending on the location. I will say that a lot of the maps aren't bad. Some are pretty good for an arcade shooter scenario, but the rest just feel somewhat meh. And of course you need some game modes to play on these maps, and holy shit, these game modes are not it to me. First one we have is Escort. I'll just let the footage speak for itself. Hello? Anyone there? Hello? Next one is Zone Control, which I think is the best mode in the game hands down. In this game mode, you either attack or defend the capture zones, and it's a nice, well-paced game mode. It reminds me a lot of Attack, Defend, or even Control Point from Team Fortress 2. Not bad at all. After that, we have Domination, which if you've been playing COD at all in the past couple years, the mode is self-explanatory. Both teams race to obtain the most points by capturing and holding zones in the map. Last one is Occupy, and this mode belongs in the garbage. It's Hardpoint. Exactly like Hardpoint, but for whatever reason, it's just not fun. I don't know if it's the gunplay, the maps, the netcode, the game mode itself, I really can't say. It's just not enjoyable to me. Also in the same menu, we see ranked and a training mode that are gonna be coming in the game, and I can't really say much about them other than they're gonna show up eventually. Overall, I think the game modes themselves are just meh. The only one that truly stands out to me obviously is Zone Control, but outside of that, there's not much going on. One more thing I want to touch on is the roadmap, because it kind of leaves me with more questions than answers. I'm putting it up now on screen, but while there's a lot here, it gives us nothing to really be excited about unless you're a fan of the game. For example, what new faction are we getting? Why should I care? Events? When are they happening? What are they? It's just too vague to draw up any sort of anticipation from me. Now, I want to do what I've been doing in the past couple vids and check out some stuff people have been saying about XDefiant, because there's this one thing I keep seeing, and it's primarily Forbes and a handful of other YouTubers saying it, and it's this notion XDefiant is going to be a threat to Call of Duty. I know Mark Rubin developed MW3 and Ghost, and he's also working on XDefiant currently, so this has that classic COD feel, but this being a threat to COD, I can see it being no more than a competitor because of MW2's terrible updates and overall piss poor gameplay. But that's mostly it. And as much as I hate to say it, there will be nothing that becomes a threat to COD because it's just too big of a franchise. Other games will be able to coexist, and there may be a time where a game that launched at the same time as COD will perform slightly better over time, but that's the full extent unless Activision decides to just shut the door one day or they just yank the franchise. There's really nothing else. Besides, if you want a better, more well-polished competitor to XDefiant, play Shatterline. That game is extremely underrated, is more ambitious than a recruiter talking to a senior with a 1.2 GPA, and has a solid foundation for being such an amazing game. And to top it all off, it's free to play. And obviously, I'm gonna leave the link in the description and in the pinned comment, so don't worry, go check it out. But for what I like about XDefiant, okay, I like the style they're going for. It's sort of that Ubisoft fans' wet dream of having different characters from the Ubisoft universe come into one game and fight each other. Some of the maps are also well designed and have a great flow to them, like the carnival one you're seeing in the gameplay. The starting game modes in the beta are small but have a good size to start out with, and I'm glad they didn't resort to TDM and kill confirm like they did in the previous playtest, but I'm not 100% sure if they even included those. Now for what I don't like. To start off with, this game launches in a windowed mode at like 780p. Why? Aside from that, the movement feels really stiff to me, and I've seen some people say the movement is fine, but I don't see it. The guns feel like they do piss all except let the enemy know you're shooting at them unless you get headshots. For my final thoughts, the game just really feels outdated to me at the end of the day. There's nothing here that screams 2023 or 2024, but maybe more of 2017. But hey, if you're a fan of this game, by all means, enjoy it. I heard from my boy Abel Green, who's probably the biggest advocate for XDefiant, that this beta was actually better than previous sessions that he's tested, and if that's the case, I'm thankful I just now got access to it. But again, if you don't want to deal with Ubisoft and you're wanting a similar experience from a studio that actually cares, then download Shatterline. Same concept, but an overall better experience. Now, before you start typing away already, I'm not going to write this game completely off, okay? But I'm not gonna say that I'm excited to see what comes next, cause I'm really not. Now I turn the mic to you. Let me know down below what you think about XDefiant. Will this game be a breath of fresh air? Will it completely flop? Let me know. And while you're down there, go ahead and firebomb that like button and sneak up on that sub button like the echelon so you can see all my content free of charge. This is Sir Blackout signing off to go buy a gimp suit and night vision goggles to cosplay as Sam Fisher. Later.